Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the YouTube page. I wanted to first start off by saying that I had an idea yesterday about potentially taking donations for food, maybe gift cards for Walmart, Kroger, other grocery stores. I was thinking about it, and if I'm going to be cooking all of this food, for the most part my wife travels, so I'm home alone for the majority of this quarantine time. So I would love to be cooking all day, but I'm never going to eat all this food that I'm going to be making. So if possible, if people would like to donate food, money, anything, I would be happy to make a cooking video on the recipes that I'm working on, and then would love to get the meals to families that need them in this time, whether it's in my neighborhood, your neighborhood. If you know a family in need, let me know, see if there's something that we can do to help them. I'd be glad to put together a meal, maybe a dinner or lunches for a family for a couple days, because most of these meals that I do, with the exception of the sushi, is not a single serve meal. It's always been my downfall, is cooking for one person. That's the hardest thing that I've had to adapt with my wife traveling. She's a healthcare worker. She does cardiac ultrasound, so I also want to try to get some PPE equipment and maybe some hand sanitizer to people like her that know who needs it the most. We all say that we want to help people, but we don't necessarily know who to give anything to right now. So if anybody has any ideas, I'd love to take some donations to help out anybody that needs it right now, whether it be family or first responders or anything like that. So with that being said, today we're going to work on a spicy tuna roll. So we will head up to the kitchen here in just a second and get that going. See you upstairs. Here we are in the kitchen. We are getting our ingredients all together. So I have everything laid out here. We have our nori, our seaweed. We have our sushi rice, which we will prepare here in just a minute. We have I use vegan mayo and sriracha sauce. That'll be our spicy mayo. We have our sushi-grade tuna here. We have rice vinegar. I use that to keep my fingers a little wet while I'm working with the rice. Sesame oil and roasted sesame seeds. We also have our bamboo mat here that we will use to actually roll our sushi with. So let's get going. Alright guys, so first we're going to start with soaking our rice here. So in front of me here, my pot of water. I've got 2 cups of water, and we're going to do 1.5 cups of rice. We'll let that sit on the counter there for about 15 minutes before time. And then it will go on the stove to boil for 20 minutes. While we're waiting on the rice to boil, I'm going to go ahead and start working on some other things. We can take our bamboo mat here, and what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it in some plastic wrap. I have a plastic wrapped bamboo. Alright, so I'm also going to take a couple pieces of saran wrap and set aside for after we get the rolling done. I like to wrap the rolls in saran wrap and leave them in the fridge for 5 or 10 minutes, let the rice kind of form the rest of the way. So we're just going to set this over here for now. So we're going to get a cutting board, and we're going to work on we're going to slice up some of our tuna here. So again, we got some fresh sushi grade ahi tuna from Highland Fish Market. So open this up here. Man, look at that. See that? Look at that beautiful piece of tuna. And there's Spencer. Spencer loves it. Spencer loves it so much. Alright, so I'm going to grab my knife and I'm going to slice some of this up. I'm not going to use a whole lot because I'll probably only use 2 rolls. Or I'll make 2 rolls today. But I'm going to leave those 2 pieces right there for now. Wrap this back up and stick it in the fridge for later. going to cut this sushi into, I don't know, 1/4-inch squares, cube it almost. So we're gonna cut this up here. Then we're gonna toss it in our bowl here. So we're gonna combine this with some sriracha and sesame oil. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of sriracha. So there's our sriracha sauce. And then we are going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of sesame oil. And now I'm gonna mix that together. Once our rice is starting to boil, we will reduce the heat to a simmer and then we'll put a lid on it for 20 minutes. So we'll go ahead and do that, and while we're waiting on that, we will prepare our nori sheets. So we really just need to grab 2 out of the package here. This amount will just make 2. So I'm gonna grab 2 sheets of nori here. Here's one. We're gonna put the shiny side down. You can see this side it's a little more coarse. You can see this side's a little smoother. So we're gonna do smooth side down. This one's gonna be an inside out roll. Inside out is the rice on the outside, and the other way is with the rice on the inside. So we're gonna wait on our rice to cook. As you can see, my rice here is just finishing up while it's cooling down, so it's not too hot to touch. I'm actually gonna add some cucumber to this recipe too. It's a great thing about this is even if you have a recipe, you don't necessarily have to follow it. Put in whatever you want to put in. This recipe actually called for green onions. I'm not a huge green onion fan, so it's just going to be the tuna and sriracha mixture here with some cucumber on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice up some of this cucumber here, and I really need to get like a mandolin or something to cut these up a little better, but we're gonna cut them into little matchsticks here. You can find them at Walmart and Kroger already cut up into matchsticks, but it's kind of way more expensive than just doing it yourself. So, I mean, if you have the means to do it yourself, I would recommend doing it yourself. It's gonna save you quite a bit of money in the long run. I got these mini cucumbers today from Cho's, and I think they were like $2 for like 6 of these, so it seemed like a pretty good price. It was pretty cheap. I've got some gloves too. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna wear gloves when I put the rice on. Say hi, Spencer. I like to wear gloves when I put the rice together. It's a little sticky, so I like to. I just like to wear gloves. I don't know, sanitary, whatnot. So also here I've got a little bowl of rice vinegar with a little bit of water in it. I like to use that when I am assembling the roll with the rice. It helps keep it moist and together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get my fingers a little wet here with this water and vinegar mixture here, and I'm gonna grab a handful of the rice, and then I'm just gonna start spreading it out here on the nori. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a gap here at the bottom edge, and a little bit of a gap on the sides. You know, grab whatever you need. You can see that we have our nori with our rice mostly evenly spread out here. So what we're going to do is we're now going to flip this over so the rice is facing down, and now we're going to add our toppings to it, or fillings I should say. So I'm going to split this in half, and I will leave some for a second roll. So there we have that. And we're gonna add some cucumber to it. I like to overlap them a little bit so you get a piece in every bite. I'll do that like now. We're gonna roll. So what we're gonna do is, it's kind of like a burrito, except we're just gonna roll straight over. I like to just hold my hand right in front of the mixture so it doesn't roll away until I get the first roll done. And we're just going to topple over here. You can see from the side, you can see it rolling. So it's not so much, you don't want to get the mat rolled up in there. So you're going to continually roll and then squeeze, and then roll, and then squeeze. And then keep it going, and I'll move it back, and I will continue the same method here. Because if you don't want to roll the mat up inside of it, you want the mat to be used to tighten it together. So once we're tightened together, you can see there that we have a roll, sushi roll here. So what I'm going to do now is what I like to do is we'll take a piece of saran wrap here, and I'm going to wrap this in saran wrap. The ends here, and I'll make sure it's nice and tight. And I'm going to set that in the fridge for 5-10 minutes while I get my other rolls ready. So I'm going to go ahead and do one more. So we have our new sheet of nori, shiny side down. We are going to get our fingers a little wet with our vinegar mixture. And we're going to grab a hunk of rice. Alright guys, so now we're going to assemble the rest of the sushi. We're going to cut the roll and then give it all the toppings to make it look good. So I like to use my bread knife. I think the serrated edge helps cut it in an even pattern. Unless you just have a really good chef knife. My Santoku's kind of dull right now. I haven't had a chance to sharpen it. But here we have our first roll. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with cutting the ends off first. That way we just have a symmetrical piece. No, I don't waste these. These are what I sample with. So I'm going to turn it around here. And I will definitely be eating those. For display purposes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to assemble this on my cutting board here. Choi's Asian food market. Got some masago. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a little spoonful here and I'm going to top all of this with these. If you have not had masago, it is very similar to tobiko. It's caviar, pretty much. It's fish eggs. It is super delicious, very salty, high sodium content. So if you have to watch your sodium, this may not be the best topping for you. I also cut up some jalapenos. I'm a jalapeno junkie. I love spicy food, obviously. So what I'm gonna do with these, I'm also gonna top. I'm gonna top the whole roll with a couple slices of jalapenos here, just because I really like any kind of spicy food. I get it. My whole family is big spice junkies. So, all right. Then my last little piece here is my spicy mayo. I like to put it in a little Ziploc bag so I can make it look more presentable. What I'll do is I'll cut a little hole in the corner of the bag so I can spread it out easier. Take the corner off there a little bit. And then I'm going to drizzle this over the top here. Just give it a little bit more spice and a little bit on the presentation side. That's how you do that. So we have us a spicy tuna roll topped with masago, spicy mayonnaise, and jalapeno slices. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for other videos. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you have any questions. Feel free to shoot me a message, comment below. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, if you like this video, make sure you like and share it. Also subscribe if you haven't already. All the ingredients and the recipe I will leave in the description below on the video, so make sure you check that out if you want to make this. Again, huge thanks to Highlands Fish Market and Choi's in Linden. I just want to say thanks to them. Super nice people at both places, so be sure to check them out as well. Hang tight with me as I get some more equipment to make this look better at home. But I hope you enjoyed, and stay on the lookout for the next video. Thanks, guys.